Okay, hello, fabulous! Today we are going to learn to freeze kefir grains. Now, if you have purchased your kefir grains and you are having an abundance of kefir grains, then you know that you need to do something with them. Give them to a friend, a neighbor, somebody who wants to start having probiotics. That is great. Give them out. Sell them, do whatever you do, but if you're finding that you need to do something else with them, you can freeze them and have them for whenever some kind of oopsie happens, which it does. You can drop them down the sink, you can drop them on the floor, you can contaminate them somehow. You could accidentally throw them in the garbage, a bug could get in there during the summer. Who knows, your kefir grains could just die, and then you would have to, if you didn't have any frozen, you would have to go and order some more, and to save you some bucks, you can freeze them. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to do it. It's very, very, very simple. Okay, all you will need is a little plastic container that is freezable, just a freezable little container that's big enough for your kefir grains. Real simple with the lid. Make sure that it closes tight. You need a plastic spoon, always that mesh strainer. For video purposes, I need a bowl just to dump this excess kefir in there. And then of course you need some milk. You need either dairy milk or goat milk, okay? You don't really want to freeze them in anything else other than dairy or goat, but it doesn't have to be special dairy milk or anything like that. It doesn't have to be organic. Always the better choice. I'm not using organic today. This is just what I had in my fridge. So here we go, okay? What we want to do is we want to get all of our kefir grains into our mesh strainer. So, yay! I am going to just get them all in the mesh strainer. I'm going to take them out of my jar, plop them in here. Okay, jar is empty. And we are going to float it around here. Whirl it around, make sure you're only getting them kefir grains. You don't really want that milk they were sitting in. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but these grains have actually been sitting in my fridge for like a week because I had to get some plastic containers. I didn't have any little baby ones, so I had to get some, and in order to do that, I just kind of threw them in the back of my fridge in some milk. So if you're going on vacation or something, that is a fabulous way to get your kefir grains to be, to kind of just pause your kefir making for while you go on vacation. Just throw them in some milk in the back of your fridge and they will not die or anything. They will just kind of slow off, okay? And then you can use them when you return. It's fabulous, right? You can go on vacation when making your own probiotics at home. Okay, so now I have the kefir grains just chilling in this mesh strainer, okay? I'm going to take about a teaspoon of kefir grains, probably like this much, okay? I'm going to take this many kefir grains and I'm going to just put them in the little plastic container, and you want enough to be like, okay, that's enough for me to start making kefir. That's what I want it to look like. So I can probably put another little, just a heaping teaspoon. That's all you need. And then we're going to fill the container. We're going to make sure that the kefir grains are full. We want to fill the container about this full of milk, so there is just a little bit of air, and we want to close the lid. Make sure that that lid is tightly closed. And this guy is ready to go in your freezer and just freeze them. And whenever you are needing them, take it out and, take it out. Okay, so I'm just gonna put all of these in this one because not really enough to make 3. Okay, so there we go. I have the rest of my kefir grains right in there. And I'm just going to fill up this little container as well. Oops. And that is it. I have 2 little lovely batches of extra kefir grains in my fridge, or in my freezer, because I'm going to put them in the freezer. Make sure these are tightly closed. These are not the ones I normally use. I could not find them this time. Don't know, but it's going to work just fabulous. Okay, so I have my kefir grains in there. They're going to freeze in the milk, and they're going to be there when I need them. Okay, so just throw that in the freezer. Don't throw it, but you know what I mean. Set it in the freezer. And you will have them when you need them. Now, to unthaw your kefir grains, if you want to know that, you can stick around for the video. If not, see you later, and you just wanted to know how to freeze them, that's perfectly fine. Now, to unthaw them, I'm just going to explain it to you because it is a little bit of a process, and I don't see myself unthawing any kefir grains right in the next couple of weeks, so I just kind of want to put that information with this video, okay? So I would take this then frozen kefir grains out of the freezer, and I would put it in my fridge for a little while. And then I would put it out on my counter. I would probably put it in the fridge for like 2 hours or something, okay? So take it out of the freezer, put your little container in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then take out the container out of the fridge and put it on the counter for a couple of hours. And when you see that it's like you can jiggle it and you see the milk moving, then instantly get a mug or a cup, a glass of some kind, and pour some milk in there, maybe like half of your mug full, so about 4 ounces of milk, and put in the contents of your little plastic container. Put the whole thing in there, the milk that's in there, the kefir grains that are in there, just dump it right in the fresh milk, cover it with a coffee filter, and leave that on your counter for the rest of the day. Okay, so about 24 hours after you originally took it out of the freezer, now you have it sitting on your counter for you have it sitting on your counter for that long, and you have it covered with a coffee filter. Now take that off, get a fresh new glass or mug, and act like you're actually going to be making milk kefir, and use your dairy or goat milk, whatever you use to freeze it, of course, and put that into the new glass. And then you will strain your kefir grains with your mesh strainer and your plastic spoon. Put the kefir grains only back into the fresh milk. Cover the new fresh milk kefir grains with that same coffee filter and rubber band. That is absolutely fine. And then leave it for 24 hours as if you were making kefir. Now, if it is still runny, then you need to do it another day, okay? So until you're kind of like waking your kefir grains up from being dormant, so to speak. So you want to do this for as many days as it takes for your kefir to become kefir. If it's still runny, then your kefir grains are not up to par. They're not ready to work yet. They're still a little bit in shock, and that's okay. Just keep doing it, and they will come to, and your kefir will start not being sludgy so much. Now, if you are changing your dairy milk kefir into almond milk kefir after that, you will need to do almond milk kefir for a couple of days before you use it. I would say definitely 1 day before you use it, you will have to do the almond milk. Then there's no dairy in there, so to speak, okay? So just make sure that you're doing the almond milk kefir for at least 1 time and dumping that out before you actually use it if you have some kind of dairy allergy or something like that. And honestly, if you have a dairy allergy, maybe you should be using goat milk. It is said that there is no dairy in kefir because there is no lactose in dairy because the kefir grains eat the lactose of the milk. So if you're lactose intolerant, it can actually help and blasé, but just for allergy purposes, if you have an allergy to dairy, and just make sure that you're switching it over for a couple of days until you know that the dairy particles and whatnot can be out of there, okay? So just make sure. And I think that everything will be fine, and I'm hoping that I explained that very well. If you have any questions, of course, email me. I will leave the email in the description or write a comment below, and I will be sure to comment back as soon as I can. If you like this video or want to subscribe, do that, and thank you very much if you do. If you want to dislike it too, fabulous. I'm ready for it, okay? So go ahead and freeze those kefir grains or unthaw them, whichever, and have a fabulous, fabulous day. Thank you so much.